It is great to have you back here at CoinSuri's channel. With a 2% rise, Bitcoin exceeds $45,000. Considered alongside the other 100 coins that day, there is a 5% rise. Among them, I noticed a small number that were increasing by double digits and a couple that were increasing by 4 or 5%. A little bit of movement is happening here. I believe this is the future of the business, and I applaud Ripple for their commitment to transparency and frequent updates by issuing XRP market reports every 3 months. They are the targets of the lawsuits, and they are probably the model for what the future holds. We won't analyze the entire report. But what's interesting isn't a major victory but rather the part about Ripple's. After a protracted legal battle, the court has decided that XRP does not qualify as a security under US law, putting a halt to the SEC's action. That part is very important. Even while there's a lot of worry that we could have to appeal, the fact that XRP isn't a security and the key issue of the case will probably stay the same. This bull run has to finish before the worst-case scenario can happen, even if it does. That will require some time on your part. There will be significant differences between the last bull run and this one. We are ahead of schedule. Also, Blood Ripple goes on to state, since the XRP payouts and sales on Ripple were not investment contracts, the court also deemed them lawful. Despite the company's jubilation at a big victory, Ripple has acknowledged that a court determined that a portion of its prior XRP sales to institutions should have been registered as investment contracts. These deals were done by very smart companies. This is when things get exciting. Reminder, Ripple is currently under investigation by the SEC about their financial dealings and past and present activities. The SEC claims that Ripple changed its XRP sales strategy prior to the July court intervention. Going forward, we will ensure that Ripple's sales comply with the regulations set by the court. As the legislation evolves in this area, Ripple will likewise invest in the resources necessary to remain compliant and will continue to improve its transparency and ethics in compliance. Is a time bomb soon to be revealed? Does this court verdict give Ripple the impression that they can get away with their old XRP sales tactics? Highly improbable. That is what they are telling us right now. It is all set up to obey the judge's command. They had already revised and edited before that decision. In the end, everything will be okay. The future is the center of attention. Following the rules and still having a profitable business is not a problem, according to Ripple's. Everything is set in stone for the deal. As the title suggests, the linked article compares reverberation to SEC results. A settlement of $10 million is projected by Ben Armstrong. On this page, I am unable to see the matching interview. I can tell you this, though. In a perfect world, we'd have a crushing victory and a humiliating defeat. The lunch tab for the lawyers at Ripple's is $10 million. I seriously doubt this will be that much. I think it's more complicated than that. In this case, how many unregistered securities happened in countries other than the US? That being the case, I'm crossing my fingers that the SEC is unable to seize those assets and bring them into US jurisdiction. There will be absolutely no slack on the penalties and fines. If it comes out that the compensation is $10 million, Gary Gensler would be fired right away, in my opinion. John Deaton must be mistaken. I seriously doubt it's that low. It might have been less expensive than hiring an attorney, he might have suggested. Penalties must be paid in this case. Future events are the primary point of discussion. Before anything else, know that XRP is not a security. This is of the utmost importance to Ripple's, the biggest holder of XRP worldwide, and to us as investors. Ripple's runs its whole business on XRP. The SEC's failure to disclose this information is particularly noteworthy because it was a crucial step in their failed attempts to use huge settlement sums to prevail in their lawsuits against Coinbase, Kraken, and Binance. This is intriguing since it demonstrates that Ripple is undergoing a dramatic transformation. The headline, "DeFi Compliance to be Top Industry Trend in 2024, alludes to Monica Long, Ripple's president. Ripple President Monica claims that on-chain compliance and the end of speculative excitement cycles will usher in the new era of cryptocurrency. We are talking about responsibilities here, not remuneration. Curiously, the ICO and NFT hype cycles of the past will be surpassed, for the most part, by widespread practical application. This is something I feel compelled to tell you as an investor. Be cautious. It feels like forever since we first demanded that the hype cycle end. You can withdraw your profits without worry, because there are some coins that I will keep forever. There will be more consistent growth in due time, but until then, every market has fluctuations. We won't advise you to immediately turn on your computer and begin mining Bitcoin for $100 million, but crypto is still going to be crazy. Nevertheless, given the early stage, I expect there will be substantial volatility. Continuing onward. You see some money that could change your life sitting on the table, you take a little and hide. Minimal concern. Conversely, I am most interested in this area. At this time, I do not require Monica's financial advice. In 2024, the biggest breakthrough will be in pioneering compliance. To advocate for financial systems that are not centralized. She has circled back to the most noteworthy event of the year, the one at the heart of Ripple. All it does is comply, but it flat out refuses to take any kind of physical payment. I don't want to imply that Ripple has abandoned or downplayed the importance of payments, but they do have a broader vision. It will be the subject of a heated debate. The SEC has now admitted that they are trying to seize control. Memes and decentralized exchanges are popular these days. This is really neat to see. One of XRP's main features, as I've mentioned before, is its decentralized exchange and its capacity to keep a diverse range of assets on its ledger. All links in the chain require these abilities. It will provide us an advantage over the competition in the long term, says David Schwartz. This system has not been stacked. It plays an essential role in the chain it is linked to. The results will most likely be highly efficient and scalable. A few murmurs about this have started making their way to my ears. Apparently, the head of Ripple is predicting a big announcement regarding XRP. An announcement on future advancements involving Ripple and XRP was tweeted earlier today by Sean McBride, who was a director of Ripple. On top of that, I can honestly say that I am completely confused by all of this. A handful of YouTubers and Twitter users have made fleeting mentions of this during the past 2 weeks. Something major is about to transpire, according to 2 separate directors. I guess we'll have to wait and watch what happens. My apologies, but I just do not know anything about that. Another option would be to describe it, or at least show how it varied depending on who was telling you it. To be honest, I'm not sure. We will not budge in the slightest. I seriously doubt we would have been able to view it if these people hadn't known about it. It could resemble a partnership based on exchange. Something like, I would dare to state. Things will be revealed in due course. Very soon, this will be shown here. Mr. McBride claims that BlackRock and Fidelity's Bitcoin ETFs have surpassed GBTC. Investors are fleeing the market due to the sky-high grayscale costs associated with liquidity controls. Additionally, I do not think Grayscale will be the biggest portfolio asset manager for much longer. If Grayscale were to lower those fees, who would you trust with your money? In your opinion, which product is superior? Which digital currency firm, Grayscale, which seems to be having problems everywhere, would you like to have listed with BlackRock and Fidelity? Never in a million years would I risk my money on anything other than BlackRock or Fidelity. Their services are completely unnecessary when you consider the outrageous prices of their items. Going back to the original premise, this industry will be dominated by one of the 2 businesses with a history of successful launches and billions of dollars in assets under management, BlackRock or Fidelity. Considering the size and longevity of both BlackRock and Fidelity, it is difficult for me to predict which will prevail. Delay gratification for the moment. Today, the S&P 500 surpassed the 5,000 milestone. Today ended on a somewhat downbeat note. But there has never been a period in history when all-time highs have happened. Attached is an article that states that share prices often increase, stay high for a while, and then fall back down to more reasonable levels. What comes next is the true question. New all-time highs have been achieved by the stock market. Is that the kind of place you picture? I don't know. Our next move will be determined by this point. Regardless, I shall inform you about this. Among the current concerns, what are some of the most important ones? That is the main reason I find cryptocurrency so attractive. Because this is a global financial disaster in many ways, the debt is simply out of control, they will not be able to fix it. As a hedge against the most serious risks presented by irresponsible monetary policy and global politics, cryptocurrency has become an incredibly popular asset class. And not only that, but to triumph over a great deal of difficulty. In my opinion, two big technologies that will change the future by making things more efficient are blockchain and artificial intelligence, AI. Some time will be required. We won't rewire the world here. A lot of work, nevertheless, is yet ahead. Additionally, many things will undergo re-evaluation, and these two aspects will constitute the foundation of the society of the future. We thrive when given the opportunity to make a substantial impact. Suing the NBA is one course of action that many investors have pursued. As a result of its ties to the now-defunct cryptocurrency exchange Voyager, it discourages new businesses from entering the market because no one wants to risk being hit with a multi-million-dollar lawsuit in the future. Because of their endorsement of the now-defunct cryptocurrency exchange, the NBA is in the middle of a legal battle. Allegedly, $4.2 billion was lost by investors in Voyager Digital Holdings. According to the lawsuit, the NBA was reportedly extremely negligent in approving the marketing agreement between Voyager and the Dallas Mavericks. If your Bitcoin firm shows promise in the near future, we will find a way to overcome this obstacle and you will look for a partner. No one wanted to get their hands dirty for fear of having to answer to investors for losses of billions of dollars. As if we were going to be passed, some people will begin to chase after us. Minimal concern. You can't afford to take that risk with your advertising budget. Regulations will have a significant positive impact on this industry. Everything is on the table, and we're moving in the right way according to the rules. But back then, the ridiculous things that happened at Bull, a number of issues, including the Capital's 3 arrows, Celsius, and FTX, will persist for a while. The fact that a handful of Republican senators are suing the SEC over crypto cases and extremely troubling behavior is just gravy on top. It is concerning that several Republican senators have condemned the SEC for its deeply troubling actions. The recent debt box case was a disaster due to the SEC's intentionally misleading and false statements, which ruined the credibility of the proceedings. The deal went like this. Claims are being made by the attorney. It seems like nobody here knew I'd made that assertion. I meant what I said. However, once the attorney learned the facts, he lied in court. Nothing was done to fix the record. They made an effort to disregard it. They were ignorant enough to think that listeners would just keep on. The SEC acknowledged in December that one of its attorneys had unknowingly made a false statement during the July hearing. What the firm's attorney, the fact that they did not take action to remove the comment once they realized it was incorrect is what really irritates me. I can't believe you were oblivious, because it's equally horrible. Despite being told, you opted not to update the record. On top of that, I think we would get ourselves into serious problems if we tried to sue the SEC for that and then claimed ignorance. It might be true. I seriously question it. But even though you knew the truth, you still didn't fix it. Due to their relentless pursuit, you should brace yourself to lose everything. Because of this, the SEC should face harsh punishment. Oh, that's terrible. Feel free to express your opinions in the space provided. Subscribing and like is always appreciated. Catch you later, farewell.